Hey guys, in today's video I want to show you guys how you can do your murderer makeup. This is my entry for the NYX 2016 Face Awards. If you guys want to see me in top 30, don't forget to vote. You can vote up to 3 times a day, as well as like this video with a thumbs up and share this video to get the word out there that I'm entering. So let's get started into this tutorial. So I'm starting off with using a face cast and just oil-based clay or non-drying clay, and I'm starting to build this sculpt of like a ripped open, torn mouth kind of thing. So first what I did was just build the basic prosthetic out of the clay, and then I used fake nails to create the teeth, and then you just play around with it, get it however you'd like it, and then as soon as I was happy with it, I just started to apply layers and layers of latex. I did probably around 7 to 9 layers of latex without any like cotton. I just wanted to use latex, so I didn't use any type of cotton, so which is why I did more layers of latex. And then I'm just going to use some flour to set the entire prosthetic, and then start peeling it off using flour as you are taking off the prosthetic from the mask or from the like clay. When you take it off, I'm using flour throughout this, and this will prevent the edges from folding and sticking to itself. If you use the flour as you peel it off, it will just make sure that the prosthetic doesn't get any rough edges, and using the flour will make sure that the edges stay thin if you created thin edges. While taking off this prosthetic, I found it easiest to start from the top and go downwards. So I started towards the nose and I kept pulling down towards the chin, and that's how I ended up removing it. Some people like to do it, get all the outer edges first and then go to the center. It just depends on the prosthetic. For this specific prosthetic, I went top to bottom. Then I just set the entire thing top to bottom with more flour. Just regular baking flour. It's really inexpensive. It's better to use in like a face powder because it's more cheap, because it's like less expensive and you can use a lot of it and it costs like barely any money. Then I just cut out some of the outer edges just so they're kind of clean edges, and then I just make sure it fit, and I also slit a cut in between the 2 lips just so I can have movement in my mouth to eat or drink or speak while this prosthetic is on. Then I'm just taking some liquid latex and applying this carefully on my lips and around my lips. You want to be super careful when doing this because you don't want liquid latex to get in your mouth. I'm pretty sure it's not good for you. I mean, it's liquid latex, like it's not meant for your mouth. So yeah, then I just got the lips part connected, and then I started to trim away any excess that I found were just too big or went down my chin too much or went too wide. It was just unnecessary. So I just cut that off and started to trim it, and then I just started to put more latex on, and I'm just using a Q-tip to do this. No reason to use anything special. Q-tips work very perfectly. And I'm just going to start applying latex around it and sticking it down. Then I'm going to take another thick layer of latex around the entire edges, just to once again stick down the edges and help blur out the edges and blend the edges into our skin. So yeah, I'm just doing a pretty thick layer of latex around the outside as well as on the inner lip part. Don't put your lips together like I did because it'll stick together, and I just use a blow dryer to blow dry it. And also I showed you guys that you can eat with this using teeny tiny little bites, as well as you can drink with it through a straw, and you can speak with it. So I'm just using my Kat Von D foundation, which is my everyday foundation, and I mixed it with some of the Ben Nye Clown White grease paint, and I mixed a little bit at a time, and then I decided, well, I kind of wanted a lot lighter, so then I just took kind of a lot of it and mixed it in with a spatula on my palette, and then I just took the spatula and I applied the foundation, and then I just took one of these like cheap like wedge sponges. They're just honestly really inexpensive, and they're really easy to use, especially because this foundation, our little foundation concoction, is so thick. It's better to use with like this kind of sponge. Don't forget to put it on your ears and down your neck. And yeah, I really wanted a pale, sickly look for this murderer who doesn't like eat a lot, but you know, kind of eats humans, which I know can sound like really gross, but you know, that was kind of the backstory behind this. Then I'm going to be using the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in Ivory. And oh my god, guys, this concealer is amazing. It is so thick, it's unbelievable. And it doesn't crease a lot, which is like really impressive. And it's just so full coverage. And I just put that underneath my eyes and on my eyelids to cancel out veining. Then I'm setting my entire face with the Ben Nye Loose Translucent Powder in Light. Or maybe it's in Fair, one of the two. Then I'm taking the NYX Brow Gel in Taupe with this Sephora double-ended brush from the double-ended brush set. And I'm using the angled side, and I'm just using this to fill in my brows. And this brow gel is like such a unique product. I've never seen anything like this, and it works amazing. It's so pigmented, so it can really give you a nice bold brow if that's what you're looking for. And I just quickly filled my brows in, as well as giving some sparse little hairs at the top just to make them look kind of bushy. Then I just did a little bit of bronzing because I didn't want to look super white, so I used this Physicians Formula bronzer. Then I'm using the NYX Kohl black liner, and this is just a regular Kojal pencil. I don't know, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. You know, just regular black eye pencil. And yeah, this stuff is so pigmented and it's so creamy, and it made tight lining and waterlining so easy. And then I'm also just going to smudge that along my lash line, and this was not dark enough for me, so I applied a bunch of it all over my eyelids and blended it out with my ring finger, trying to be gentle. But you know, you're rubbing your eyeballs, like literally blending out products. You can't be too gentle, but I mean, like, try your hardest, I guess. But yeah, I'm just doing that, and then I'm just adding more, making it darker. And I really, really like the way when you blended it out, it looked kind of like a navy and smoky. And I wanted to keep that look, but I also wanted the most center of the lid to be very, very black. So I took a black shadow later. But I'm just continuing with the pencil on my lash line and smudging it underneath my lash line as well. Now I'm taking the Urban Decay Shadow in Blackout with the Urban Decay double-ended brush that you get with the Naked palettes, and I'm just taking the fluffier side and packing Blackout all over my lid, as well as blending it out very carelessly. You can tell it's very, very dark and black on the inner part of my lid, and then it gets kind of that smoky navy color from the liner as you get outwards, and it looks really cool, honestly. But it's meant to be completely very messy because we are like not dead. We're human, but we're still like gross and old and aged and yada yada yada. Then I'm just taking my Skin Illustrator Alcohol Activated Zombie palette, and I'm taking the black color on a thin little paintbrush with some 99% alcohol, and I'm just going to start defining the teeth, because as you can see in the prosthetic, you can't pick up too many details within a prosthetic, so you're going to have to do a lot of the detailing in the paint job, so I'm doing that now. And I'm just using the black to outline all the teeth, as well as go over the outer edge of the inner part of the torn out mouth. And this will create a lot of depth and define the whole area of where it should be torn. Then I'm just taking the alcohol activated paint, and I believe it's called rice paper. It's like the really light skin tone fair color, and I'm just using this around the prosthetic pretty much and around my mouth just to make it look really white, not white, really light, and just to lighten it up. Then I'm using the Ben Nye Master Bruise Wheel, and I'm just going to use this reddish kind of darker toned grease paint, and I'm just going to use this to color some blood tones on the inner part of the mouth, just to make it look like, you know, we've been like eating something, humans, animals, you know, gross stuff, because we're just some psycho murderer. And also I'm going to use this on a Q-tip and just pretty much all over the whole inner mouth area, as well as like on the teeth and stuff. Then I'm going to take one of those inexpensive sponge wedges, and I'm just going to take that color again to create a little bit of bruising. I didn't want to go too detailed in the bruising because honestly we're just going to cover it up later with a lot of blood, but just to put a little bit of undertones underneath the skin and underneath the blood. Then I'm going to take the alcohol activated palette and taking the bruise tone in the zombie palette, and I'm just going to take a torn apart sponge and put that on top. And then I'm going to take another sponge, and I'm just going to use the color rice paper again from the zombie palette, and I'm just going to put this on top of all those bruise tones, and this will make it look like the bruise is really, really underneath the skin because we're putting our skin tone on top of it. Then I'm going to be using the Benign Dark Blood, and I'm going to pour some out on a plate and use a torn apart sponge to just go crazy with the blood. Honestly, you can use as much or as little as you want. I went crazy because I love fake blood. I know that sounds like so weird, but honestly, I just love using a lot of it. I love gore and stuff, so I'm just going to be using a lot of it, using most of it on the inner part of the mouth and then spreading it out, and as I get it out, it should be more diffused or like dispersed. Yeah, dispersed. And I'm just going to take a paper towel to do that, or actually I think I'm using like toilet paper to blot out the outer part, and then I'm just going to apply more fake blood on the inner part so the mouth is very, very wet and like new blood, while the outer part is more aged and kind of dry blood. Then I'm going to take the Mehron coagulated blood gel, and this is the first time I'm using this, and it is a great blood product, and I'm just going to use this on a Q-tip on pretty much like around the ripped wound mouth. And this stuff's so cool because it's so thick. I mean, it's like insane. It's so awesome. And yeah, I'm just going to do that all around and do it kind of randomly around the mouth as well. Then I'm going to take more of the dark blood and put that all the way down my neck. Now, this is just some cheap vampire blood that I got off of Amazon. And this is one of those products that like you wouldn't feel bad for if you use like a lot of it, because it's not something that you're going to use that often like my other blood products. And this is kind of a lighter blood, so it's a lot more of like a new look blood, while I like my other like scab bloods and fresh scab bloods and like coagulated bloods better, so because those are darker, so they look a lot more realistic. But for like that new, like I just ate a living being kind of look, this blood looked pretty cool. And I'm just going to drip that all down my neck and my shirt, and then I also smeared it out with my hand a bit. Then I'm just taking the biggest knife that I could find in my kitchen. I wouldn't suggest using a real knife, but I did, and I just covered it with some dark blood. And yeah, just be careful. I wouldn't go out with this because it is a real knife, but yeah. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, don't forget to like this video with a thumbs up. If you did, share it to get the word out there that I am mentoring, as well as subscribe to become a beauty and be a part of our beautiful world. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next video. Bye.